Hello everyone, today we have an exciting deck that uses King Eitri, a card that I honestly thought I would never use and win. We have King Eitri, and this deck has been absolutely dominating for me in post-infinite. Around top 400 rank, I went 11-4, so out of 15 games, I had a 73.3% win rate, and it felt like I could deal with just about everything that was coming my way. Now, if the opponent has something super greedy like a Mr. Negative, you can't really shine too well against that other than like getting a very lucky Shadow King to like turn off an inverted Iron Man or whatever that might be. So you have to pick your battles, of course, but it can pump out a lot of power. And the best thing is it pumps that power out very late in the game. So the opponent has a really difficult time positioning their cards in a way that is going to be able to win. And so in those 15 games, I averaged 1.73 cubes gained per game for a total of 26 net cubes over 15 games, including wins and losses. I had an absolute blast with this deck and with King Eitri, which I never thought I would say. This deck utilizes a lot of low ball stuff, so it utilizes the Black Swan, a lot of one-cost cards, Moon Girl to double up on like a Mjolnir Hammer, a Stormbreaker, or your one-cost cards, and ideally like a She Hulk or a Hitmonkey to extend that reach and just be able to give you some really flexible but also very bursty styles of play. If you don't have Hydra Bob, that is going to be the, I can see it now, that's going to be the number one, like, what do I replace Hydra Bob with? Honestly, anything would be fine. You could do a Nico. You could do potentially a Martyr. Some games it's going to stab you in the back. So I would say shy away from Martyr unless you're just feeling masochistic. It can work in some games when you fill up the board, but other games it's going to stab you in the back. So I would go with something a little bit more consistent, like a Nico, which has varying spells that can be beneficial either early or late game. Sometimes it's going to give you additional card draw. Sometimes it's going to buff up whatever you play afterwards, turn your next card into a demon, so you can extend some of your reach in some cheeky ways with the Nico. That would be my ideal replacement. And then additionally, we have Shadow King. You might get the itch to remove the Shadow King. We have Sunspot, we have Mjolnir, we have Beta Ray. All of those scale off of increasing power. I'm going to tell you now, don't. The deck is going to be better off with Shadow King in it. There are so many cards from the opponent that scale up, whether it be movement, whether it be bounce, whether it be another Sunspot build. There are so many things that scale a card's power, and Shadow King is going to be able to offset all of that. Now, the biggest reason why we can afford to have Shadow King in our build is that a lot of times we are going to not have priority going into the final turn. We're going to usually spend turn 3 through 5, kind of mucking around and skipping. Maybe we play a 5-power Moon Girl out, but turn 5 most of the time is going to be an outright skip, and so a lot of times the opponent can't help but to grab priority, which gives you the driver's seat. You can dictate where that Shadow King goes to go before your Mjolnir hammers. You can use it into a lane. Sometimes you might use it cheekily into like a Sunspot lane if you expect them to be scaling their own power, and then you float another 5 so that your Sunspot kind of regains some of that power that it lost, and then your Hitmonkey very often is going to be just a massive like 10+ power play. And so we're going to keep the deck explanation relatively short there. But before we jump over into any games, I'd like to introduce today's video sponsor, Deckland. Deckland is an upcoming single-player game that blends deck building, Yatunori-inspired mechanics, and roguelike elements to make for an incredible experience. Unlock equipment, synthesize cards into more powerful combo chains, and take on enemies in this epic adventure. Continue confronting more powerful foes and elite monsters with cards that you gain from your victories. During your adventure, you'll encounter events where your decisions will shape the items and rewards that you acquire along the way. Add Deckland to your Steam wishlist today. But if you can't wait to play, there is a lengthy Deckland demo out now for you to try. I downloaded the demo just to give it a try, and before I realized it had already been an entire hour, and I had just been navigating through the adventure, having an absolute blast with it. The demo will have regular updates to bring constant, fascinating content to unlock, to hold you over until Deckland's formal release in 2025. You can find the link to the demo in the description or the comment section below. Alright, next up we have Mr. Sumada. The first location is Jotunheim. We have our Black Swan to be able to make flooding our 1 cost on the last turn easier. Moon Girl to double up on those 1 costs as needed. And we have Thor to play on 3, so maybe we double up on Mjolnir. We haven't seen King Eitri. I got scared for a second. I thought he didn't make it into the deck. I've played it about 5 games since I sat down. Haven't seen him a single time, and so I got genuinely afraid that I forgot to include him in the deck at all. Now with Hydra Bob, I'm gonna wait until later on in the game so that we can probably snap into him moving into Sanctum Sanctorum. But with Starlight Citadel, that's not as much of a concern. So I think we go Thor to the right. We go Sunspot into Jotunheim next turn. And then we kind of adjust from there. Now, they could be snapping because they have a Red Guardian that they're going to send to knock out our Black Swan. If we were anticipating that, maybe we should have... Yeah, there's the Red Guardian. Maybe we should have activated it this turn so that since we had priority, we could have gotten it to trigger. It's okay. It's not the best thing, but it's not the worst thing ever either. Let's go Sunspot and Absorb. I'm not going to go Moon Girl during this game because I want the extra power to be over in Jotunheim. And with a potential... Ooh, Malekith. So we're hoping Sanctum Sanctorum shifts over to the left. Shoot. That is unfortunate. As unfortunate as we could possibly be. All right, let's just go ahead and skip here. Even if we snapped with a Hydra Bob and moved him over, that's 10 total. I guess we wait and see if we get Mjolnir or not. If we get Mjolnir, there's a chance that we snap on the last turn into pushing that Hydra Bob over. We'll get a total of 11 power added here. We might be able to beat their... Oh, we might be able to beat their face down card. So, with that, it gets a little bit scary, right? I think we... Do we go heavy into Jotunheim? Do we think they use like an Alioth? Possibly. We're going to go ahead and snap back into it. If they have an Alioth, which this deck typically could run one, I'm afraid that they have Alioth and that they're going to hit the Hydra Bob. Here, let's restructure a little bit. Let's go She Hulk, Rocket, Mjolnir, Hydra Bob. No. We go She Hulk, Rocket, Mjolnir, Titania, Hydra Bob. Because we need them split so that Hydra Bob is guaranteed to go over here. Now, the downside is only 10 power in Jotunheim. And actually, I think Hydra Bob jumps over as a 4 power, not a 5. That could be important to know. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to let it rip here. Hope for the best. Luke Cage, okay. Shadow King does hurt a little bit. They have their own Hydra Bob, and so their Hydra Bob could jump over into Sanctum Sanctorum as well. Either way, it is going to jump out of the mid lane, so we do win the mid lane. It just comes down to winning the other location that Hydra Bob jumps to, depending on what is over to the right. It could be Hazmat, which would be problematic for us. And so Hydra Bob does jump over there, so does theirs. US Agent, we are going to still hold down the 8 cubes. They have the right lane, we have the left, we have mid, and we will gladly take the 8 cuber against the Anti-Venom Luke Cage Malekith deck. We will take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Fanta. And do we want to? Yes, we do. We want a Fanta. We have Sunspot, which we could go ahead and start playing out, but I think we probably shy... Oh, the sandbar. We finally get King Eitri. I'm telling you guys, it's been 10 games or more. And we've been winning, but King Eitri has been at the bottom. So Moon Girl is rough for us because of sandbar. Oh, interesting. It's rough for us because of sandbar. But, so are Mjolnir, the hammers, the whole 9. But they're a Thanos deck. Oh, beautiful. Oh, into Project Pegasus is good for us. That means we get the extra energy this turn and next turn, right? It's so crazy the way that Project Pegasus works. And so because it popped up, we get the extra 6 onto Sunspot. And then we can go from there. Ooh, we get Thor. Big bad Thor. It's gonna be a Thor subject for him. I think we're gonna snap into it. Fanta is rank number 52, 53. Fanta's rank 53. We could do Thor. We could go ahead and do Moon Girl, but I kind of want to wait a turn. Thor, just let Sunspot get obnoxiously large, and then eventually get hit with the Shadow King over there, is what I imagine happening. But we're okay for now. Next turn, we do King Eitri plus Moon Girl. Maybe we go ahead and do that this turn. We're not doubling up on as much good stuff. And let's go ahead and do it this turn. We'll have 2 Mjolnirs in hand to really pressure that left lane. And we don't let Sunspot get above Shang-Chi range. So Mjolnir in hand. We have the double up of the Mjolnir. We still get to draw, so we're not as quite as restrictive. I'm assuming this left lane card is probably a movement card. I don't think they would just voluntarily cap out this location. Oh, come on. Unfortunate. Okay, so our Sunspot's gone. I'm glad we didn't float that extra energy. Let's go with a Beta Ray Bill. All of our Mjolnirs over in Panopticon are going to be massive. The Shadow King could service some benefit. Double Titania. We didn't get Black Swan. No She Hulk yet, so depending on what we get next turn, maybe we just play something light. All right, so Shadow King's gone. One of the Shadow Kings. We have 2 more. And so this is going to be, I believe, their last stone. They've played every single one. So their Thanos should be 20 power, which is going to be scary. We do get Stormbreaker. Big. Okay, so they have to play here, right? What if we did, I don't know, something cheeky like this? If they play this turn, they either cap this one out or only play 1 card. We send Titania, we can call it back later. And then we'll see. They do cap it out, unfortunate. So Soulstone plus what? Soulstone plus Misery. Oh no, we lost it. That re-hit with the ham. They draw through the entirety of their deck. Death is going to be free. Their 20 power Thanos is going to be a monster as well. And they're not locked into mid. Rough. Absolutely rough. All right, let's go Shadow King, Hammer, Hammer, Hammer. It's definitely Hammer time. Then we go Pig in mid. I'm not certain that this wins, but we're going to give it a good old college try for the 4-cuber. I definitely want a Fanta. I definitely want a 4 cubes. Now, we could go Hitmonkey mid if we thought the double Thor was going to be enough. That's 6, 12, brings it up to 16, but I think they probably position their Thanos over here and then Death somewhere else, is what I'm envisioning. All right, so big Thanos to the left, as we envisioned. Juggernaut pushing the extra out of mid, so they guarantee have that one locked in. Big Death too? No way. All right, so Shadow King, that's fine, but double Mjolnir plus the massive Hitmonkey. Are we gonna steal 4 from the Thanos destroy deck? We very well might. And so Stormbreaker coming in as well, giving us the monumental lead in Panopticon. Hitmonkey coming in at 13 power plus the 5 power Pig. We win left by 10, taking on the Mad Titan himself. We will take the 4 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Husky Puppies himself, the other creator with some beautiful dogs. Let's go ahead and do King Eitri. We do have Thor in hand, and so we're going to get King Eitri down. We'll do Sunspot probably next, I would imagine. And then we'll see from there. So let's go Sunspot. And then we can play our Thor naturally on 3. We use King Eitri to draw it out so that they know that we have the Mjolnir hammer. I guess the Mjolnir is Who would say it? We need to go ahead and cap this location out? Because we can. We can cap out sewer system. Just in case they have a Red Guardian. They could be trying something cheeky with the Red Guardian nastiness here. You know what? If so, it's fine. We're going to let them be. Then we're going to go ahead and activate King Eitri so we don't miss our opportunity. We draw in the Mjolnir. Next turn will be a Black Swan somewhere. Doesn't necessarily matter where. As we continue to get additional... Ooh. As we continue to get additional power onto the Sunspot. So the Luna Snow also tells me this could be the high Evo deck. This is the White Widow. I'm thinking armor. I'm thinking Red Guardian. Are both very, very likely. I kind of want to Black Swan Hydra Bob into mid to get rid of the Widow's Kiss. I know that we should be saving it for like a last turn burst. But I feel like we probably need to like relieve the reliability. The liability. The liability of the Widow's Kiss here. Let's go ahead and do it. If they have Red Guardian, maybe they do it onto our Ice Cube. No, the Hobgoblin. Okay, big rude Huskies running the Clutter deck. I would have expected nothing less. He's probably the second biggest Clutter enthusiast. I would say probably next to me. Let's go Beta Ray. Activate the Black Swan. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens. We probably don't draw into the Stormbreaker, but there's always a chance. Our chance is not zero. I'll go ahead and fill up this right lane as well. Copycat and Red Guardian. Oof, that Red Guardian is rough. What did Copycat hit? Hydra Bob. Okay. So we can bounce. No, they're not capped out. We don't want to snap because we want their Copycat to stay here. Something like She Hulk. Titania, Shadow King, Mjolnir. I guess is maybe fine. Do we even go with the Shadow King? I don't know. We're going to go ahead and give it a shot. Just in case they like Shadow King mid is why I want to go ahead and play like the additional Titania. I think we have an okay shot here. Depending on what they have. They could have Cannonball. Jeff, okay. And then Vision for an 11 power play. We're going to have 12. We're going to come over the top of that left lane by 1. Oh my goodness. We are able to hold down the Husky Puppy win. Barely. Not comfortably, but we were able to grab the win. Go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Stumbles, and hopefully they're going to stumble us a few of their cubes. We start with King Eitri. We also have She Hulk going against a Sunspot. Mirror, perchance? You don't see Sunspot all that often. All right, let's go ahead and... Don't like it, but I think we're going to skip here. We have Shadow King, which is going to be great for offsetting their Sunspot. Mirage. So they're going to get a copy of our Rocket. That's fine. With Muir Island, Shadow King is going to be King. They're going to get a copy of one of our cards. We get... Oh. We get their Moon Girl. You love to see the you love to see the Moon Girl action. Let's do Black Swan so that they think we're competing for this location, even though we never plan to fight for it. And then we'll be able to double up the Rocket, double up the She Hulk, and then we'll skip on 5 into just a flood from there. With King Eitri, we could get the Mjolnir Hammer instead of doubling up that Mjolnir Hammer. But I like the idea of doubling up better because it gives us a little bit more of like some surprise reach instead. I'm going to go ahead and snap into it. We're going to Moon Girl. We're going to skip on 5. And then we're just going to flood all of our stuff. It looks like a very similar-ish build, maybe? Maybe not. Honestly, actually, maybe not. Luna Snow. Okay, we get the She Hulk for free. You'll love to see it. And so we're going to have 6 energy going into turn number 5. Titania goes into a symbiote, which was a good use for it, knowing that we're probably, if we have a Shadow King, going to use it over here. Let's go ahead and full float. We have the double free She-Hulk, the double... Oh no, I didn't activate... Oh my god, I didn't activate Black Swan. What are we doing? Ow. Yeesh. Good thing we don't, like, absolutely need it. Be treacherous. Alright. So, Shadow King into Hitmonkey. Into She-Hulk, She-Hulk. Or She-Hulk, probably stack all together. Probably be She-Hulk, She-Hulk, Rocket, Rocket. And then just go huge here, give up this right lane. But we do get the retreat, even though I choked and just didn't activate Black Swan. And I can't even... We're going to go ahead and take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, so the first location is Shuri's lab, which can make for a pretty even more explosive last turn for us. We have King Eitri. We have Black Swan to lean into as well. Let's go with King Eitri for now. I'm going to play him... into the unknown location. I just got a feeling. Sometimes you just have a feeling. Could be wrong. It could be a bad feeling. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a good feeling, I guess. So armor comes down. We can expect some really large cards over there. But if we find a Shadow King... Let's go Thor. Let's go Thor into King Eitri. And I don't think they'll retreat, so I'm going to go ahead and snap it. And then next turn will be probably Black Swan. Very unlikely to do a Moon Girl. Just because of hand space constrictions. Luna Snow definitely helps us curve our cards a little bit easier. So thank you for that. As an opponent, I love when you play Luna Snow. I know that you're doing your thing, but it helps me as well. We do get Moon Girl. Is there ever an argument to drop the Moon Girl? Probably not. We want Black Swan. We definitely want Black Swan on the board. Weird scenario. Is it ever Black Swan into Hitmonkey? Okay, so if we did this, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could probably 2, 3, 4, 5. We could go real heavy with the Hitmonkey She-Hulk. Changed our mind one too many times. Big Hobgoblin, unfortunate. So now going into turn 5, we full skip. That allows us to... I guess it's just She-Hulk, She-Hulk, Hitmonkey, Hitmonkey, Mjolnir, which is still a pretty... I may be coping. It feels impressive, but maybe it's not. All right, so the big Hobgoblin is scary over there. What are they going to do as they're, like, how do they finish? How do they build up past that point? Okay, that Shuri's lab is one way to do it for sure. Okay, so they're not capped out here, which is unfortunate for us. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be 13 power, goes to 26. It's not awful in this left lane. Plus the 6 from Mjolnir. It's not terrible. Kind of like it. Ooh, and we have the rocket as well. I think we're good. We have a lot of power output. I forgot we were going to have the 7th energy to also play the Rocket Raccoon here. And so our double Hitmonkeys are massive. Our 2 She-Hulks, massive. Mjolnir to help out the Thor. You might have guessed it, massive. They do stick it out. Ooh, big cannonball. But it can't go anywhere, and it can't be destroyed because we cap out the entire board It's so many plays. Oh my goodness. That is a 26 power Hitmonkey. We still lose the left lane, unfortunately. But we are going to dominate every other lane otherwise. My goodness. The 32 power mid. The massive whatever we have in the right lane. It's going to be like 16 or so. 17 is still huge. We are going to gladly take the win away. And we'll take the 4. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Splat, one of my 4 losses with the deck. I've only had 4 losses. Splat was one of them, and I should have won this one. They didn't have an ideal output, and they still bamboozled me with their shifting around and their placement. So maybe we can find a way to still make it happen. So let's go ahead and skip on 2. We have... Let's see, hopefully we get the Mjolnir, or the Thor. So Thor allowing us to draw into Mjolnir is massive. Let's do Thor. I'm going to do Thor into mid. Let's go ahead and activate the King Eitri. Or do we wait to activate the King Eitri in case we get like Moon Girl and we need to like more strategically place our cards? I'm going to do it just in case they have like a Red Guardian. I want to get the card out, because Red Guardian is floating around an awful lot. Or Killmonger. Killmonger as well. And so we do pull out the Mjolnir. Now, with the wave that they just played, a lot of times my mind goes to Galactus. In this case, that is not that is not what we have here. We have, instead of Galactus, we have the Sarah Onslaught. Splat is the creator that brought you the monstrosity that is that deck. And so we have to look out for how high that deck can get. But, let's see, we're going to double up on She Hulk and Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey, since we don't have the extra energy, isn't fantastic. But we do have the Shadow King. Do we ever want to double up on a Shadow King as well? Kind of. Kind of want to. That way we can double Shadow King. Or maybe we double Shadow King. I don't know. We'll see. So this deck, they're going to do Sarah or Onslaught or Blink. Either one works. Or any of the 3 work, I suppose. So Sarah, follow-up would be Onslaught so that all of their cards are super, super, super cheap. And then they flood from there. We have to skip on this turn to get our 2 1-cost She-Hulks. So that we could do She Hulk, Shadow King, Shadow King. Oh, wait, magic. Okay. Now I wish we would have played. Okay. Let's see. We're going to have 7 energy here. Do we want to draw a card? No. No, because we'll have 8 energy going into the final turn. We could go double Hitmonkey, double She Hulk. Could be a viable play for us. I don't think we play anything. I wish we had a Sunspot down though. That would have been, very, very much helpful. Okay. So they grab priority. We're gonna flood some big stuff. So something like Shadow King, She Hulk. Shadow King, Hitmonkey, She Hulk, Titania. We may be able to win this one. Splat can flood everything in their hand, unless they have a blink that might get a little bit awkward. But otherwise, the Sarah onto Onslaught is huge. And so, Claw, whoa! Splat coming out with a Claw instead? What is this? Not what I was expecting at all. Whoa. And so we may be able to steal mid, depending on what this last card is over here. Splat changed up their deck. Living Tribunal. Oh man, I don't think that's going to do it for him because we do have a pretty high power output. But super surprising, super scary. I thought this was the original Splat deck where it has Surfer, Hitmonkey, and the Flood. So the Shadow Kings were going to be our go-to. I was not expecting or anticipating the Living Tribunal at all. They almost bamboozled us, but we will gladly take the win. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Silky Johnson. The first location, Savage Land. I kind of want to go Sunspot over there. But we will. We have we're staring down an entire hand of 1-cost cards. We always go Sunspot just so that he gains some or garners some benefit over the course of the game. And then Black Swan is beautiful looking at the hand that we're looking at. And so depending on how we fill out the rest of this, we could get a lot of value just from the 1-cost cards. They snapped, so I'm assuming maybe they have a Shadow King that they're wanting to knock out this Sunspot eventually. Psylocke. Okay, so it's a Wiccan deck. They could have an Eliath. They could have a Magneto. And a couple of other things up their sleeve. They could have Shang-Chi as well. The good thing about this deck is it typically drops priority very, very well. So let's go ahead and I wish we had King Eitri to pull out the Beta Ray Bill Hammer, the Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker, right? Yeah. But they do have Wiccan, so they're going to have just a preposterous amount of energy going into the final couple of turns, which is, for the most part, fine. Let's go Beta Ray. This could be a version that runs Luke Cage. So I think our competition lanes are going to be mid and left. I don't think we're going to have a shot in Necrotia. That's just my gut read or my gut feeling, though. We have 2 turns to draw into the Stormbreaker, or Hitmonkey, or She Hulk. Those are our 3. Actually, we probably need Hitmonkey, She Hulk more than we need Stormbreaker, honestly. We have 2 turns to do it, so it's 2 out of... Right now, it's 2 out of 6. So we have a 66% chance to draw into one of them by the end of the game. Ideally both, but we'll see. Okay, so Moon Girl is at the bottom, but when we shuffle this, we're going to shuffle our cards around, so it's not going to be as great. Now, the double up of the 2 remaining cards, it makes me so uncertain of what is within their power range. And so let's go ahead and activate. Right now, we're going to be just pretty much free on the last turn, except for the Shadow King. And then we'll see from there. They could have Magneto. Ooh, Gore the God Butcher. Okay. We do get She Hulk, which is nice. So with Gore, he's going to continue to scale, so I don't think we have a shot over here. I think it becomes something like this, or do we even play the Shadow King? I don't think we even play the Shadow King out. Unless we're worried about a Juggernaut. But if we're not, then that's fine. Without playing the Shadow King, this scales up by 5 more on the left. That could give us the win over there. But is 5, 10, 15, 9. Is 9 enough in the right lane? Now that I think about it, I don't think so. I think we go She Hulk. We go Rocket, Hydra Bob, Titania, King Eitri, doesn't matter where, because it'll be 0 here, or 2 here. I'm going to do 2 here in case we tie a lane, and then we're going to hope for the best. That's where we're going to land on. All right, so Galacta. Ooh, scare. Ooh, big Galacta. Oh, no. Huge Galacta with the Kitty Pryde in the left. That's not enough, though. And so if we can win this right lane with our Hydra Bob coming in at 3, and then the 3 from the Titania, we are going to be able to hold down the right lane. We can hold down the left. Oh, my goodness. The double Galacta was wild. I was not expecting the double Galacta at all. We are going to take the 4, and that is actually where we're going to go ahead and end the video. I have been on an absolute tear with this list. I don't know how much longer we can keep it up. We're going to end at the peak, at the top. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and once again, thank you Deckland for sponsoring this video. This has been TLSG. Later, guys.